Am I far? Am I good enough? Or do I need to scoot over a little more?
No, you're good.
Okay.
There we go. Let's see if that shows up first. We're going to put some light on this real quick. That'll help.
You got another light over there, don't you?
Huh?
To the left. Leave that light post in there.
Mom moved it. It's over there.
Over there. Okay. Cool.
There we go. Now I can see everything. All right, we've been rolling because I had to move. But hey everybody, welcome to Ring of Honor Final Battle 2022 reactions and results with
Austin Honecker.
and Jonathan, John Fun Miller here on the John Fun channel, because my other channel, my Wrestle.love channel, does not have live access yet. So,
And I'm sporting the Ring of Honor t-shirt.
there you go. Buy the Ring of Honor merchandise, because Austin's a shill for Ring of Honor, and we both like Ring of Honor. And yeah, so we just got done watching Final Battle, and it started at 3 o'clock. There's some more wrestling on tonight. There's wrestling probably somewhere in the United States.
NXT.
NXT's on
At 7:30.
yeah, at 7:30. It's 7 o'clock now. A few minutes after 7. And we're going to go ahead and talk about the matches and the winners, the losers, and what we think is going to happen in 2023 with Ring of Honor. We don't know what Tony Khan's going to announce. Apparently, he may be online right now while we're online.
Doing the media scrum for Ring of Honor.
Yeah. So we'll have to go back and check that out. But if you are tuning in, which I don't have anyone showing up in the chat, like
Got some Red Bull to...
Red Bull, if you want to sponsor us, there you go. There's the brand. We're sitting here live from my home studio, makeshift. He gets the big comfy chair because it makes him look good.
Mm-hmm.
So,
Oh, yeah.
and this time I have the names right. So on the left of the screen it does say his name and not my name, and on the right of the screen it says my name. Like last time we switched
During
names.
the All Out review, AEW All Out review.
Yeah, but last time we switched names because you were right here and I had it typed reversed. So I fixed it before we went live. So you're actually Austin Honecker and
Yep,
I'm actually Jonathan Miller, according to the screen.
Yeah.
That was the funny thing that we got to do, was we got to switch places. So for that video, we got to find out what it was like to be each other for a few minutes. Anyways, if you watched it, I overall, and I'm going to start right off the bat, think it was a pretty solid show. It was really entertaining, and there were some things, just like the dog collar match, that was brutal.
Yeah.
But I'm skipping forward. But Austin's the guy with the format. So we're going to go back to
The pre-show.
the pre-show 0 hour and discuss the 4 matches that were on before the actual
The main show.
main show. So roll with it, Austin. What was our opening match?
Okay, so for the Ring of Honor Final Battle for the pre-show the first match, it was Jeff Cobb versus Mascara Dorada.
Formerly Grand Metalik in WWE.
Yeah. Solid match. Great storytelling. It was like David and Goliath going at it with each other. Like Jeff Cobb was Goliath, Mascara Dorada was David, in that whole scenario. But, they both put on a good match. And the ending to the match, Jeff Cobb went over with the Tour of the Islands.
To me, it was kind of, it was just a basic solid go out there and open the match, be an opening match type
Curtain jerker.
Yeah, type of curtain jerk type thing. It was Jeff Cobb being Jeff Cobb, big kind of, like Austin said, big giant, big guy, big muscular guy. He was kind of, he was kind of being his more or less his New Japan character, which I don't mind. He's got a lot of athletic ability and a lot of presence. So for him to win, I didn't see any problem with that. I didn't take any issues with what happened, what was going on. So yeah. Anyways, I thought that was a good opening match. So
Same here. Okay. Match 2, the second match, it was the Jericho Appreciation Society, Matt Menard and Angelo Parker, versus the Shinobi Shadow Squad, who were Cheeseburger and Eli Isom. Great match. It told a good story. I like it. All 4 competitors, awesome. But the ending to the match, the Jericho Appreciation Society went over because Angelo Parker pinned Eli Isom with the double DDT from Matt Menard and Angelo Parker. Like I said, great match. And to me, it was obvious that the Jericho Appreciation Society was going to go over.
just checking the audio.
Okay.
The big takeaway I got from that match is how ridiculously popular Cheeseburger still is in Ring of Honor.
Yep.
And Cheeseburger and his partner did a really good job.
Eli Isom.
Eli and the who won again?
The Jericho Appreciation Society.
Okay.
Matt Menard and Angelo Parker.
Yeah, and so up until then, Austin and I were 2 for 2. Our predictions, I predicted as we went along. Austin did his predictions earlier and posted them on his Facebook.
Yep.
But we both hit the first 2 matches. I thought Jericho. I kind of had that feeling that they were going to rub it in, that they were going to use them to kind of rub it in that Jericho was champion, that type of deal. Just keep the status quo of what's been going on between Ring of Honor and AEW.
Yep.
So, but once the second match was really good too, and yeah.
Okay. The third match, it was Willow Nightingale versus Trish Adora. That was an okay match. I mean, both women put on pretty good match. And Willow Nightingale, she never fails to impress me. Trish Adora wasn't bad either, but the ending to this match, Willow Nightingale went over with the Doctor Bomb.
I agree with Austin. Nothing major here. Just a good match. I like Willow Nightingale too. She seems to be very charismatic. So, if you like, once again, women's wrestling is more prominent nowadays. So, if you like women's wrestling, it was on there and it was very, very good. So, that was the third match. I think the third match was okay, good. Nothing like, wasn't a 5-star match. Probably like a 2.5. About like 2.5 on the scale. So.
And match 4, the main event of the pre-show, it was Top Flight, who are Dante and Darius Martin, versus the Kingdom, who are Mike Bennett and Matt Taven. I thought that was a good match. That was an awesome match. They both teams really put on a solid match, told a great story, and the underdogs come out on top. So the ending to the match, Top Flight went over because Dante Martin got the pin on Mike Bennett with a powerbomb sliced bread combination from Darius and Dante Martin.
Austin and I both had originally picked
The Kingdom
to win the match, but they did not. Top Flight got the win, which I see why they got the win, because afterwards it set up a story with Jericho Appreciation Society, which came later in the pay-per-view. But I don't think we're going to talk about it in order, so we'll go ahead and mention it now. That they were in the backstage talking about their win
during the main show. Lexi Nair
interrupted them.
But yeah, well, Lexi Nair got an interview in with Top Flight, but Matt Menard and Angelo Parker interrupted them, and then a brawl ensued.
Yeah.
And then Angelo Parker rubbed it in Ring of Honor's face about it dying and everything, and claimed that Chris Jericho was the one that kept Ring of Honor alive and all that.
So that's what happened with them. I can see why they won. I guess it's going to set up some more
Top Flight and Jericho Appreciation Society.
Yeah.
That'll be a great feud, I think.
All right. So that was the 0 hour. We're getting ready to go. Right,
except that interview segment.
Except for that interview segment, which was on the main show. But still, like I said, we weren't going to discuss it in order because I think we would. Because we didn't even write it down. We didn't even write it. It was.
Yeah.
And there goes Austin's notifications.
Okay. But okay, for the main show, for the first match, it was AR Fox and Blake Christian versus LFI, who were Roosh and Dralistico. Great match. I liked it. You know, they put on a good match and everything, but the ending to the match, AR Fox and Blake Christian went over because AR Fox pinned Dralistico with the 450 splash. Now, that was not really supposed to be the ending. The ending was supposed to be LFI going over, but
we think it was.
We think it was
because the ending got messed up somehow. Go back and watch one of the AR Fox. What's his other guy?
Dralistico. Blake Christian.
Blake Christian and AR Fox. One of them did a dive outside of the ring, while the other one did the 450 splash. But they almost killed the referee. And so I don't know what kind of miscommunication happened at the end of this match, but it looked like Dralistico was going to kick out, and the referee went ahead and hit 3 and rang for the bell, and LFI looked legitimately pissed, and they looked like they threw a fit after the end of the match
and attacked AR Fox and Blake Christian.
They attacked them. I think that might have been part of the set after the match, but I'm not entirely sure because of how wonky the end of the match was. So AR Fox and
Blake Christian.
Blake Christian pick up the win, but once again, it wasn't the cleanest ending.
No,
So
it was not.
we think, once again, we both thought LFI was going to win, which
We could be wrong.
we could be wrong, but once again, if you go back and watch this match, something got screwed up right there at the very end, and that happens.
Mm-hmm.
So, but overall, it was a very, very enjoyable, easy to watch opening match. There was a lot of flippy flops and a little bit of high flying and a little bit of the Mexican style wrestling where they do like 12 things in a row and all that. So,
Yeah.
if you like that type of stuff, it was really good.
Yeah. Okay, match 2. We had the second match. It was Athena versus Mercedes Martinez for the Ring of Honor Women's title. Loved the match. It was awesome. It was awesome from start to finish. And the ending to the match, Athena went over and won the Ring of Honor Women's title with the Swan Dive Cutter.
And I was the one that picked Athena to win.
I picked Mercedes Martinez.
So I was kind of, it was what sold me on her winning was the promo.
Yep.
Before the match. I was like, I really think she's going to win it. I think they're finally going to give her a title and see what happens. And she won it. And the kicker is she won it in her hometown as, quote, a heel. But she got a babyface reaction. She got a huge babyface reaction for being in her hometown. So, and heck, she was smiling like a babyface. This might it may or may not totally ruin what she's been doing as, quote, a heel, but she's been more aggressive, and whenever the word aggressive comes up, it means you're a heel.
Yep.
But the way, she won the title in front of her parents in her hometown,
yep.
And it's kind of a feel good moment for her and her career and all of that, and Austin's got a crush on her, so we'll just leave it at that because it was good. I think she'll do great with the title.
Yeah, she will.
So, all right.
Okay.
Let's keep rolling, Austin.
Okay. Match. The third match, it was Swerve and Our Glory, who are Keith Lee and Swerve Strickland, versus the Shane Taylor Promotions, who are Shane Taylor and J.D. Griffey. It was an awesome match. It had some dissension between Swerve and Our Glory and everything in it, and the Shane Taylor Promotions, they put on a good performance too, and there was a lot of storytelling to that match, a lot of history between Keith Lee and Shane Taylor and J.D. Griffey. But the ending to the match, Swerve and Our Glory went over because Keith Lee pinned J.D. Griffey with the Ground Zero.
The thing that I thought Shane Taylor Promotions was going to win the match. The guy that teamed with Shane Taylor,
J.D. Griffey.
J.D. Griffey made his Ring of Honor debut.
Mm-hmm.
Swerve, I had already called that he was going to probably abandon
Keith Lee
again. Because they were already having problems.
Yeah, dissension.
Yeah, they were already having major problems before the match started. But what caused the ending of the match was J.D. Griffey ended up throwing a roundhouse kick and ended up hitting Shane Taylor, which got left the opening for Keith Lee to hit the Ground Zero.
Yeah.
So I liked the way that was set up.
And Swerve Strickland ended up walking out during the match and left Keith Lee to defend for himself. So that's a sign right there. Swerve and Our Glory are done.
So,
but I did predict Swerve and Our Glory to go over.
Okay.
Okay. Next match. Okay. The fourth match, it was the Embassy, who are Brian Cage, Toa Leona, and Bishop Khan, versus Dalton Castle and the Boys, who are Brandon and Britt Tate, for the Ring of Honor 6-man tag team titles. Loved the match. All 6 men put on a great performance. And the ending to the match, the Embassy went over and won the Ring of Honor 6-man tag team titles because Brian Cage pinned one of the Boys with an assisted powerbomb from Toa Leona, Bishop Khan, and Brian Cage.
My thoughts were the match was really good. I liked basically one team was, excuse the term, all muscleheads. They just were, all of them are pretty much in shape, jacked guys. I'm not
Agile too.
Dalton Castle and the Boys, they're in good shape, but they're smaller guys than the other 3 individuals. So it made the working dynamic. Basically, Dalton Castle and the Boys were pretty much the underdogs against the big muscleheads, the Embassy. So the funny things that I saw in the match were when they would use the Boys as weapons against either Dalton or against the other boy. It was like they were just using them as projectiles, and I was like, okay, it's like that.
Yeah,
it was funny.
Yeah, that's always a crazy spot when Dalton Castle grabs the Boys and throws them into the opponents out of the ring.
Yeah, but if their opponents were doing it the other way around. So
the Embassy were.
Yeah, the Embassy was using the Boys as projectiles for Dalton and the other. So it was. I was just like, oh, but we had the Embassy become the 6-man tag team champions. It was a good match, solid match. I have no complaints. Enjoyable, watchable, awesome.
Okay, match. The 5th match, it was Wheeler Yuta versus Daniel Garcia in a Pure Rules match for the Ring of Honor Pure title. Loved it. It was close to match of the night. They told a great story. They practically went to war against each other because this told a story of 2 men that really hate each other. And the ending to the match, Wheeler Yuta went over and won the Ring of Honor Pure title because Wheeler Yuta ended up knocking Daniel Garcia out with elbow strikes.
Yeah, in Pure title matches, you're not allowed to throw a clenched fist, and you're not allowed to use the ropes a certain amount of times. And Wheeler Yuta ended up exhausting his rope breaks and clenched fists. And so he got desperate, and eventually, like you said, like Austin said, at the very end, he just started elbowing the crap out of Daniel Garcia, and eventually Daniel Garcia just passed out, and referee did a referee stoppage, which the title changes hands, and the title also changes hands on DQ because it once again, the Pure Rules in Ring of Honor are meant to encourage more of a I would say fair wrestling match. It makes it to where you can't just continuously get a rope break after a rope break after a rope break because people get sick of that. Yep. So it creates an environment of where it helps the match quality, whether people realize it or not.
Yeah, I honestly love the Ring of Honor, the Pure Rules concept myself.
So, I was always a fan of Pure Rules, even though for the longest time, for the first few years of Ring of Honor, I didn't get to see Ring of Honor, and I'd only heard about this. And then the title ended up being unified with the world title. Mm-hmm. When they brought it back a few years ago, I was like, "Oh, this should be real good." And so far it's been, so far since they brought it back, it's been really good. So
okay, the sixth match, it was the Briscoes, who are Jay and Mark Briscoe, versus FTR, who are Dax Harwood and Cash Wheeler, in a double dog collar match for the Ring of Honor Tag Team titles. I will say this, it was a phenomenal, but it was a brutal match at best, and it gave me vibes of Roddy Piper and Greg the Hammer Valentine years ago in WWE when they had the dog collar match.
It wasn't in...
I thought it was WWE.
It was in the National Wrestling Alliance.
NWA. Yeah, my mistake.
It was for the United States title.
Yeah, my mistake. But yeah, that gave me vibes of that match. And, but all four competitors, like, they done amazing. But this was the first time in that a dog collar match has ever happened in a tag team match.
And in Ring of Honor.
I
believe. I don't think that... I think they said there may have been like singles dog collar matches, but tag team matches.
But tag team dog collar matches have never happened. That was the first one.
So,
and
like Austin was saying, this was, if you have a weak stomach, this was brutal.
Yeah.
They used the chain as a weapon. They used chairs. They were being thrown off the top rope. They battered and bashed each other, but tell them about the finish was, the end of the match was, I couldn't believe it.
Yeah, the ending to the match, the Briscoes went over and won the Ring of Honor tag team titles because Jay Briscoe made Dax Harwood pass out to the crossface with a chain, with the chain.
He didn't tap out.
He passed out. I think I said he passed out, didn't I?
Yeah, but my point is that he passed out.
Did not tap.
That's called being a hero. That's called heroes don't tap out; they pass out.
Yep. And after the match, as the Briscoes were celebrating their victory and showing sportsmanship to FTR, well, the Briscoes ended up leaving the ring, and then the Guns, who were Colton and Austin Gunn, came out and attacked FTR, and then the Guns were talking about how FTR's legacy is dead and how they were going to do everything. They're going to do what they can to kill to make sure FTR's victory is killed. And as that was going on, the Briscoes came out and ran the Guns off, and then FTR and the Briscoes ended up, celebrating.
So, like Austin said about the prior match, Daniel Garcia and Wheeler Yuta, and this match, Briscoes and FTR, they're neck and neck with being matches of the night. There was so much action, such good storytelling. I think I would almost have to toss a coin because one of those two matches stole the show.
Yeah, it's true. I agree.
But I'm surprised that it wasn't once again the main event. But the main event is the next match.
No. That's the pre-main event. Okay. The sixth match, it was Samoa Joe versus Juice Robinson for the Ring of Honor television title. That was a good match. It was great. Like it was a great match. Two phenomenal competitors in Samoa Joe and Juice Robinson. Like they put on a stellar match. But the ending to the match, Samoa Joe went over and retained the Ring of Honor television title with the Muscle Buster.
Which we figured was going to happen. Joe's probably not going to drop either the TNT title or the television title for at least a month or so. I think it's helping both Ring of Honor and AEW with Joe as as champion.
Double champion.
As a double champion, dual champion. So, yeah, I have good match, great match. Nothing too out of the ordinary. After it was a good match to follow up the bloody, crazy dog collar match. It was a good buffer between because the next match is the main event of the evening.
Yep. And the 8th match, which was the main event of the main show, it was Claudio Castagnoli versus Chris Jericho for the Ring of Honor World Title. Phenomenal match. That is, I'd say that was in a toss-up of match of the night as well. But the ending to the match, Claudio Castagnoli done the giant swing 33 times, and Chris Jericho ended up tapping out.
And that made Claudio Castagnoli a 2-time Ring of Honor World Heavyweight Champion, which once again is a rarity. Not many people become 2-time champions with Ring of Honor. It's been one of those long-standing things that happened with Ring of Honor early on. Most of the people would win it and then just would either move back down the card or leave the promotion or something else.
Yep.
But the kicker, which Austin mentioned immediately after the match ended, was it was a very unique ending because we're pretty certain we've never seen someone tap out or lose in a giant swing.
Yeah, that's the first time I seen that, and I didn't notice he tapped out until Caprice Coleman pointed it out, because Caprice Coleman was the one that pointed out that Chris Jericho tapped out, and I was like, huh? I was like, I have never heard of someone tapping out to the giant swing.
Yeah, so I didn't know that was even a possibility, but I guess it is. I guess I didn't know the giant swing was considered a submission maneuver. I thought it was more like a control and wear out maneuver. But I guess you can tap out in the giant swing. So there you go. That's how Claudio Castagnoli won his second Ring of Honor World Championship.
Yep. Just like Jonathan said, he's a 2-time Ring of Honor World Champion, and it's rightfully deserved.
Yeah. I hope he gets a little bit longer run with the title.
With his second reign.
With his second reign. But overall, like I was saying at the beginning of this, really good show, really solid show, really enjoyed all the matches. I really hope after we wrap this up that we're able to find out exactly what Tony announced with Ring of Honor, whether they're finally getting a weekly TV deal somewhere, or they're going to put it on YouTube, or whatever they're doing with Ring of Honor. I really think Tony has the best of intentions of relaunching it as a standalone promotion with maybe some